Thanks for finding my channel. This is my backgammon learning journey, which I want to share with you because it's the best game ever. So let's go under the backgammon microscope. Okay, for today's video I'm going to go over a league match I played the other day, 11 pointer, which turned out to be quite an epic. This was an early roll in the second game with 6-4 where I chose to hit. Trouble is that it's not the correct play. I'm already 11 pips up, as you can see, or maybe you can't see, but I am 11 pips up, and a roll of 10 is going to put me 21 pips up. By hitting here, I'm running the risk of being sent back, and if you look at Black's home board, it's just a bit too strong to take that risk. There's no need to do it. Backgammon occasionally can be very simple. You get situations, positions that are actually quite simple, and you can sometimes convince yourself that they're more complicated than they are, and I think that was one of those occasions. This was the very next game. I didn't win that one where I hit incorrectly. I've got an awkward roll here of 3-1, and obviously immediately I fill the gap in because it looks right, but then I break the prime straight away with the 1. Picking the least bad option is a lesser known skill in backgammon. You quite often get a crappy roll like this, 3-1, what do I do with it? Well, filling the gap into a then only break the nice prime that you've just made doesn't make a lot of sense. 21 to 20, I admit, didn't look appealing because of all the checkers in the zone. But actually, what else can we do? It's really that simple sometimes. My play of 2 to 1 is just making my home board weaker, so it just doesn't make sense. 21 to 20, it's not great. I don't really want to do it, but sometimes you have to do stuff you don't want to do. Filling that prime in is clearly the mandatory part of this move, and that's the bit that I needed to leave alone. Okay, this one's a bit weird. I rolled double 6, and then I did this. Hit the clock straight away, thinking that was a false move, and then, oh, shoot, that's not a, oh, I can actually, so we paused the clock, and I didn't show the rest of the video because it takes a while. What I basically did was I didn't regain my composure, and I ended up playing the 2 original moves that I'd played before I hit the clock, and then I just ran with my back checker. So because I've been confused, embarrassed, or I've done something stupid and wrong, I didn't do the right thing, which was to escape all my checkers, because I'm clearly way up in the race, and that's the right thing to do. So this was a gigantic blunder, 0.734, probably my record. I don't think I've had one worse than that. But it's all caused by doing something a bit daft, realising, and then not resetting. Actually, what I should have done was gone and asked someone, can I now that we've reset the clock, and now that we've paused the clock, and now that we've reset the pieces, can I go from scratch and do what I want? If I'd have got that ruling, I'd have done the right thing, but I seem to think that I had to do the original 2 moves and then 2 more, which is not the case. So it led to really quite a big blunder. Ironically, it didn't cost me this game, but it certainly didn't help from a PR perspective. But anytime you do something really daft, and we've all done it, pause the clock and just take stock, and maybe ask for a ruling if you need to. But you've paused the clock for a reason, so that you can sort it all out. Okay, this one is another one where I've got a slightly awkward roll. I've had to come off the bar, choose to come off on the 5 or the 3, and then obviously I chose to come off with the 5 and then play the 3 as a slotting play. I think what this position is showing me is that if you go into slot, it's probably better to slot with some reinforcements in place. When I choose to take that check off the 8 point and slot it, there's nothing behind me really apart from rolling a 1, to fill that 5 point in, not immediately anyway. And what's so bad about coming off the bar onto the 3 point anyway? Is it all that different to coming off on the 5? I don't think it is really. I think if we're going to slot, we need to do it with a bit of help. Right, we have our first cube decision of the match. My opponent has cubed me. It's quite early. I'm trailing 2 to 3 in a match to 11, so score's not too much of a consideration. I didn't pass quite that quickly. I have sped the video up, I think. I usually do. It wouldn't be much fun watching me sit there looking at it for 30 seconds. So let's just have a quick look at the data. 64% winning chances for black, 35 for us. Gammons are quite high. But basically this is a pass that I'm not quite sure why I passed looking at it afterwards. So when asking ourselves whether to take or not, ask this question: what shape am I in if my opponent rolls one of his good numbers? I think I would have seen here that even if he does roll a 2 to hit me, or he hits and covers in his home board, there's probably still enough play in this position to carry on. And I think that's certainly true. If black doesn't roll well, I think that's also true. If I'd have asked those questions, maybe I would have found a take here. I'm probably looking at it from the point of view, oh, I've got 4 checkers back, blah blah blah. That doesn't look great, but it's quite early in this game actually, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility I'll make a second anchor here. So that was a bit of a bad drop, really, I think, from me. Right, I've rolled 6-2. As you can see, I've immediately seen the fact that I can hit with that checker on my midpoint. I pause because I don't really like the look at it, so I put it back, and then think to myself, well, if I don't like it, what else can I do? Little glitch there in the software, not in the video, just because I paused it in the wrong place. I don't like that play particularly, so I end up hitting anyway because I couldn't justify anything better. But it's not the correct play. If we don't gain anything, then don't do it. That's the position. 6-2 is my roll, and the move that's the move I did, which proves to be incorrect. The move I should have done is very clunky looking, but it does do 2 things. It puts a checker safe when the race is very close, in fact, basically level. And it doesn't do what I did, which is hitting when there's no penalty to my opponent for doing so. The race is level, so I may as well play this one for safe for now. There isn't really any point risk having another checker sent back 20 pips when I would be facing 10 checkers in the zone. The size of the blunder is actually quite big. It's 0.327. It's really quite a big one. So the clunky looking play wins here. Hitting is deemed unnecessary because, as you can see, black's got no penalty for coming off the bar. He's got 5 empty points. Chances of me being sent back are quite high. So not certainly high enough to not justify me doing it. Okay, a bit further on in the match, we're trailing 2-6. I've got the 2 cube. Roll a 3-1 on the bar. I have to come off there. So the decision is what to do with my 1. I chose the worst of the 3 options. Placement matters. This one I think is a little tricky to see initially. That's position as we saw the roll, and clearly the first bit's forced, but the second bit is wrong. 9-8 is not correct. Now, why is that? Why is 9-8 not correct? Why should we slot the 5-point instead? Hitting from 8-7 would have been a green, which means it's an error, not a blunder. And that also leaves lots of opportunities to be hit. So logic tells us that us being hit is not the issue here. We're not bothered. And why is that? Well, it's because we're now in a back game where it's at 57 pips down. We need timing in a back game, and actually need more. You need to, ironically, be more pips behind than that. So we either want to be hit or at least don't care if we are. So we need to build a prime, homeboard prime, which we need for the back game. We need to start doing that immediately. So we slot 6-5. We're not bothered if black hits us. We're almost tempting him to, because it's good for us. I mean, we're not that bothered if we get hit and don't come off the bar for a bit. We've gained some timing. Timing's the thing that we need. So it's the least of our worries right now. What we need to be doing is building a home board ready for the back game. And if we get some timing back through being hit, it's not the end of the world. Okay, later on in the same game, ironically, we're still in that back game. We've built a better prime. I roll 6-3 and immediately do that, which is not great because it doesn't do something that we need it to do. We need to give black the opportunity to leave us a shot, and one way of doing that is to play 23-20. If we jump that checker over, we've removed one of our opportunities to get the hit that we need to win the back game. So 23-20 is quite important here, because if we do that, we're leaving black some bad rolls. Well, specifically, we're leaving him 6-5 and 5-2. It's only 4 rolls, but it could happen. We're not in great shape here, clearly. But the only way we are going to win this one is by doing that. For now, anyway. There are other options later on, but we should not have passed up the opportunity to play 23-20 here. So I'm on the bar, I roll 4-1, I have a choice. Does it matter? Does it matter which one I pick? This is the decision I have. Do I come off on the 4 and hit with the 1, or to come off with the 1 and then just play up to the 20 point, which is what I did. The correct play actually is to come off on the 4 point and hit with a 1. Well, why is that the best play? It looks a bit risky, but it's not risky. It's a proactive play. We are trying to prevent black from making an anchor. We're already 11 pips down before the roll. We don't want black to have the initiative, keep the initiative, but we particularly don't want black to make the 5-point anchor, so we better do something about it. If we hit, black is much less likely to make that anchor. If we don't hit, he's got 23 rolls to make it. Just look at the position where we don't hit. He's got so many rolls to make that 5-point anchor in our home board. If we hit, he's only got 4. Count them, and it's surprising, but it's true, and it's quite a difference. And I think that's why this is a clear play to hit, because what you're actively doing is trying to stop black make an anchor. Okay, so it's 4-8 now. I roll 5-4. I have cut out some thinking time. I did play it a bit slower than this. Sometimes you get rolls that don't really look like they can achieve much. On this one, I decided to run, which is not the right play. I'm 28 pips down pre-roll. I did consider this play, and I'm not quite sure why I turned it down. I think I just looked at the 2 blots on the 7, the 8 point, and thought, oh, it's a bit dodgy. But my position is just too weak to be running a back checker. As I said, we're 28 pips down, so that's not good. Here you just have to make the best of a bad job, make the point, and accept that it does leave 2 outfield blots. He's not a favourite to hit them, actually. Just do the best you can and move on. As you can see, it's now 7-8. So I've recovered well. My opponent rolls double 3 here and actually blunders it quite badly. And I was so pleased when I saw him do that, because I thought, well, he's left me a block to go at. He didn't need to do that. I just picked my dice up and carried on. But it's actually a cubing opportunity that I missed. It doesn't look like it, does it? I mean, I've got 2 on the bar. But the XG data here is suggesting it's a cube. What's interesting there is the gammon opportunities are about the same. And I'm only 58% to win, but I think it's the score. I'm 4 away, 3 away, 7-8 in a race to 11. I don't totally understand this yet. I think because the gammon chances are fairly even, that means I can cube on a lower winning percentage. I think that's correct. So I'd like someone to put me right if that's wrong. I think the score suggests that I should be looking to cube anyway, just because I'm behind in the match and it's getting towards the end. I should be looking for opportunities. But it's just interesting that I missed it with 2 on the bar. I didn't even think of it. As you can see, I just rolled on straight away. But it was partly because I was so pleased that I'd been given the opportunity to go at a block, because I could see a better move which my opponent didn't play. To be fair to him, it was the worst blunder that he did of the match, and it was quite a rare one. But it sort of threw me a little bit, and I didn't think of the cube. So we got it to 10-9 Crawford, so we should be looking decent. But I rolled double 5 and immediately moved the 2 checkers that I should have left alone. I'm blissfully unaware that I've already screwed up, and I'm thinking about bringing them in. Although ironically that would have still been better than what I did do. That's what I ended up doing, piling them all on the 6 point, which I did realise at the time was probably not great. But I panicked, basically. I thought, I just want to get my checkers in. I don't want to leave myself any bad rolls where I get hit. Look at his home board, it's really strong, which it is. But I can also leave a lot of awkward rolls for black here. If I play that move, he's now not got good 6s at all. Anytime he rolls a 6, he's going to leave a shot. Unless they're double 6s, which would be killed. The whole thing's a horror show. I've left a very, very inefficient bear-off position, which ultimately cost me this game, because black did get to bear off with a much stronger bear-off position, and he got in first. There's a lot to learn from this. I think my clock was running a little low, and I was probably playing a bit too fast and panicking because of that, and just thinking, don't leave yourself any bad rolls. And I just needed to slow down a bit and realise that there were other players that were far superior and were causing black just as many problems. So that's what I take from this. It wasn't my finest hour, but I'm still fairly new to the game, so I can't be too upset. But an interesting one, I think. So right at the end, double match point. I'm getting really close to the end. I roll 4-2. This one was tricky to see at the time. I just took the view that I could um, run a checker into my home board and hope to get lucky. But the problem here is that there isn't really anything that black can do other than roll double six or double five that will leave a shot. That's actually better, apparently, to move 8-6 and start running. In terms of the problem is that black's going to be bearing off next roll, whatever I do. And I'm in bad shape. So let's say even black does roll double six or double five. He's then taken 4 checkers off. He has left a shot, but he'll still, I think, be a favourite even after that. So it wasn't that easy to see. I just thought I needed to stay back, but actually XG is saying if you make the incorrect play, you're 19% to win. But actually, if you bring your checker out and accept the fact that black's about to bear off, you're 23% to win. So a small difference. It's only a small blunder. Next roll actually made it even worse because black couldn't even leave me a shot even if he tried, and I still stayed back. But this was just indicative of what can happen at the end. I know we have a close-out board, and if we do get a late, it's super strong. But black will only leave that shot with a roll of 5-5 or 6-6. As I said, that's a 5.5% chance. We then need to roll a 1. That's a 30% chance. So the overall parlay of that happening is 1.7%. The race is reasonably close. We do have a better distribution. Gaps in black's home board suggest some wasted rolls are coming up for him. We could stay back, as I said, but just overall, and it's a difficult judgment call to make, it's better to just run and take our reduced. Our chances are low anyway, but they'll be even worse if we stay. But who said backgammon was easy? Oh well, we came second in a 2-horse race, but we had a lot of fun and we learnt a lot. And hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.